Man, I got some bad static going on. I don't get it. But I'm gonna have to figure that out. Hello, can I speak to Megan, please?
Yes, this is she.
Megan, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are
I'm
you?
doing pretty good. Um,
Good.
we are live. I got you on my show. Welcome to Testify Tuesdays. You probably don't know anything about my show, do you?
I just know that you're. I just know Michaela recommended it to me.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
all. That's all I know. I know that you have a fitness journey and a fitness goal. But that's really about all I know.
yeah. Well, along with those goals is networking and meeting people along the way that have similar interests as I do. And those primary interests are, well, it's bodybuilding, health and nutrition, and
Hmm.
you are the perfect guest to have on this show. And
Oh, thank
so
you.
I just like to say thank you, and we're gonna roll right into this. It's we're gonna be on here for about maybe 20, 25 minutes or less. We'll figure it out. So
Okay.
so I was telling everybody, can you hear me okay?
Yeah. Can you hear me? You're in my headphones because I'm in Michaela's car actually, and her Bluetooth doesn't like my phone. So.
Yeah, I can hear you perfect.
Okay. Good.
Okay. So look, we're gonna get rolling. And hey, Michaela, you got Michaela in the car with you, huh?
No, she's not with me. I'm just in her car because she is being a saint and is getting my snow tires taken off because it's not snowing here, and I needed to do that.
It's not snowing. Where
No,
where
nope.
where do you live at?
I'm in Seattle, Washington.
Okay, I told our listeners
Yeah.
that you were in Washington somewhere. I wasn't quite
Yep.
sure, and
Yep.
I gave him a quick breakdown that you were a special guest and that you and Michaela were roommates and y'all both went to the University of Arkansas for. I take a guess at this. I can't never get it right. I said sports medicine, I don't know, but I know you. I know both of you girls are into fitness and take your health very seriously. And uh, I'm thinking with the you guys with your degree, you're running with it, and you're harnessing a craft that you enjoy doing.
Mhm.
And so uh, yeah, that was like a little recap I gave everybody. So let's jump right into this. My first
Okay.
question I always ask everybody on Testify Tuesdays is, when did you start working out, and who motivated, who got you into working out?
Okay. So it's funny because I feel like I've had several different kind of like leaps in my fitness journey because my first memory of working out was when I was in high school. I mean, I always played sports, but like actually doing something other than what was required of PE or athletics. Um, I would go home after school and I would do like Pilates videos, like the Suzanne Summers, like super
Mm-hmm.
old school. Everybody's in spandex and like looks really awkward Pilates videos. And I think it was because my mom did them, from what I recall. She also did Taekwondo, um, which I didn't ever do. But anyway, that was my first memory. And then when I was in high school, all varsity athletes were required to take weight training. And so I took weight training and I actually really liked it a lot. My teacher liked me because I actually cared and I wanted to do well and like move well and get stronger. And most of the people in my class, especially the girls, didn't really want to do that. I'm kind of a tomboy, so I guess that's probably why it appealed to me.
Okay.
And I knew that it made me a better athlete as well. And then when I was in college, I actually got really into running, so like distance running and like obstacle races, things like that. And I was a fitness instructor at my gym. I've just always been pretty active, and I knew that going to a gym and getting stronger was always going to just add to what I was able to do outside of the gym, like whether it's hiking, backpacking,
Mm-hmm.
running, any of that kind of stuff. I didn't really get into like bodybuilding until I moved to New Zealand. This is such a rant, but
Hold.
I'm
Wait. Wait.
like
Wait. 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 Hold. Back up. Back up.
yeah,
Did you say New Zealand?
yeah. So
Oh my
when I
God.
graduated, when I graduated from undergrad, I applied to the University of Arkansas. I originally thought I wanted to be a physical therapist, decided I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to work in a clinic. I wanted to work with athletes, which is why I chose sports medicine and athletic training. Applied to Arkansas, got in, and then realized that I wasn't ready to buckle down and to be an adult. So I wanted to go travel to New Zealand, which is where I've always wanted to go, just because it felt like there were people that I would really vibe with. And since I can't just, don't just have all the money in the world, I became a nanny.
Mm-hmm.
So I had a job while I was over there. And then I joined a tiny little gym in my town. And I weight trained because that was what I did back home. And everybody there just kind of started associating me with like bodybuilding. And so I thought I was a bodybuilder. And then everyone always assumes that I do CrossFit, which I guess a lot of the ways that I will train like my cardio fitness will be more like WOD type CrossFit stuff, just because I hate machines and I don't run distance anymore. But yeah, so then Arkansas was where I started like competitively bodybuilding. But yeah, that is essentially in a very large nutshell my fitness journey.
Okay.
How it started.
Well,
yeah.
This is okay. I never knew. I've never met anyone that went to New Zealand. This is really what is it like? What was it like over there?
Oh my!
And how long were you
gosh.
over there?
Well, they're technologically behind by like 10 years because it's an island. It's kind of like. Have you been to Hawaii?
No.
Have you been to Hawaii?
No.
Or like any like island nation? So, or I guess Hawaii's a state, but pretty much islands get kind of like slow just because they're isolated. So in that way, it's a little bit like behind. Like nobody has like unlimited Wi-Fi and their phones aren't all smart and things like that, which is really refreshing, honestly. But basically, Kiwis, which is what a native New Zealander, white New Zealander is called, they just like love to work hard and play hard, and they don't take life too seriously. And they literally just have the most amazing, beautiful country as their backyard. There's mountains, like The Hobbit was filmed there, Lord of the Rings was filmed there, Narnia was filmed there, like all these like amazingly
Game of Thrones
background movies.
Game of Thrones. They do some shots there too.
Yeah, I mean that and those places, like that is legitimately what my backyard looks like. Like I lived in Hobbiton essentially, so green, lush, like amazing. Just yeah, it's pretty incredible, and it's small, so you can travel. I traveled as much as I could. I was watching two little girls because I was a nanny, but whenever I could, I would travel with other nannies and just explore. Just
how long did it take I'm sorry. How long did it take to fly over there?
Oh my God, like 30 hours.
I was about to say like 2 days.
It felt like 2 days, and by the time you get there, your body has no idea what time it is. It's actually they're ahead by, they're almost a day ahead of us.
Yeah.
So that was always it was actually easier to talk to people in Arkansas than it was to talk to people in Washington because the time difference was almost 24 hours, so it wasn't as awkward. But with Washington, it was like 16 hours different or something, so our days would be weird. But yeah, it was hands down one of the best decisions I've ever made, putting off grad school.
Okay.
To do that. So,
I got a couple more. I got a couple more questions about this New Zealand thing.
No problem.
I would love to go to New Zealand, but anyhow,
you should.
So yeah, I should one day. When you did you say you got into bodybuilding over there, did somebody influence you, or you did you do any competitions over there?
Yeah, no. Okay, so bodybuilding and powerlifting actually. So this is funny because. Shout out to Dom, who's probably not listening to this, but my friend Dom from undergrad, he was this guy that I met at my gym, and he like taught me how to deadlift from overseas. I would like send him videos, and he would respond and tell me everything that I was doing wrong, which is pretty much everything at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned how to like conventional deadlift when I was over there. Really liked it, and then I remember there was a random like fair that I went to in New Zealand, like on the water. In my town, and there was just this random like deadlifting competition, and everything was in kilos, and I'm American, so I can't count kilos, so I just lifted what they told me to lift, and I ended up, it was me and like 4 other girls that were all way bigger than me, and I ended up pulling 265 for like, that was my PR at the time. It was like that was like a 65-pound PR after working with my friend, like just trying to figure out how to freaking lift the bar off the ground,
So
which was pretty cool.
so lifting in kilos, that's what that I don't know anything about kilos either, but in like a plate, like 45 pounds or something like
Yeah,
that.
so that was 265 pounds. It was
Okay.
110 kilos. So they told me it was 110 kilos, and I was like, okay, I don't know what that is. My friend was just like, just lift it, and I was like, okay, and I did, and then I went on my phone and did the math because there's 2.2 pounds per kilo, and so I was like, oh my gosh, like, and
Wow.
that's nothing. That's nothing. Like, that's not that much, but at the same time, like, it goes to show that if you just do it, and if you aren't thinking about doubting yourself and like what you haven't done before, then I mean, I didn't know if I'd lifted it before. I didn't know how heavy it was. I was just going to do it. And if I didn't do it, no sweat.
Mm.
I didn't even know how. I didn't know if it was super heavy. I didn't know if it was super light. I was just going to try. And if I didn't, then whatever. But
Well,
I was
wow.
influenced by there were a couple women that worked out at that gym. And I think they really saw like how passionate I was about being healthy. And I think I actually sort of revived their passion for them because so New Zealand is great, but they like to have fun, they like to work hard, they like to be active, but they also like to drink a lot. And so I think there's a very large, so there's a huge obesity epidemic in the United States, obviously, but in New Zealand it's the same. Like they have a lot of really good, really good dairy and beef just because they're farming industry, but they also have a ton of fast food like us. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's a lot of like overweight, obesity, diabetes, just like the United States. And so I think a lot of them, like the women at my gym that were also instructors, they were like, oh my gosh, this young girl, she's into working out too. And we all became friends. So that kind of like my fire fueled their fire, which fueled my fire more, if that makes sense.
You stay in touch with those folks?
Yep, I do.
That's awesome. Oh,
I do.
one last question about New Zealand. I gotta
Yes.
ask this: are there any black people there?
Uh, yes, there are black people there, but there are more Maori people there, which are they're Islander. They're like descendants. They're related to
Indigenous
like
folks.
they're I mean they're the indigenous population, but they're like Tongans, Fijians, Hawaiians, Samoans. All of them are from similar. Like apparently there's like a story about like 9 boats or something like that, and they all came from like the original source. I wish I could tell you where it was. It was somewhere in Polynesia, I'm assuming,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere in the middle of the ocean, and they all kind of interspersed into. Some of them went to Fiji, some of them went to Samoa, some of them went to Hawaii, some went to Easter Island, which obviously is not really populated anymore. But yeah, so there are actually a lot more Maori in the North Island, which is where I was living, versus the South Island. The South Island is a lot more white people,
Yeah,
and a lot more like the Commonwealth. So New Zealand is part of the Commonwealth. So Great Britain is like
they own it.
their their queen is like the Queen of New Zealand, but then New Zealand has their own government as well. Yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah, I know how that works.
yeah, it's interesting.
Well, that's great.
But
Wow,
yeah, so yeah,
that sounds like a great experience. I'll have to go check
yeah,
that one day.
you should. You really should. It's amazing. It's absolutely amazing.
Okay. Well, look, let's move forward. How many? Okay, so obviously you're a personal trainer and you're in you're in the bodybuilding competition
Yes,
lifestyle.
yes.
How many shows do you try and do a year? At least one or
So I actually, so I've only ever done one per year. I did one. 2016 was my first ever when I was living in Arkansas, and then
I
I did
remember
one
that one.
last year. Yeah, it was like right after, no, it was right before graduation when you met me.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then I'm doing 2 this year. This is my first year working with a coach. And I have my first one is in 3 weeks 3 weeks plus 2 days. And then my second one this year is actually the biggest one west of the Mississippi, and that is in 5 weeks.
Okay. So okay,
Yeah.
you say you got a coach. What kind of coach you got? Like a nutrition coach or
Yeah.
motivation?
So basically, it's a he programs my nutrition and my training split, which some of the exercises that are in my workouts, I know that I connect better with different ones. So like obviously modify per individual, but I have check-ins with him every week. And he is basically my objective eye and nutrition advisor, which I don't care how much someone knows, having a coach and being coachable are so inherently important to being successful. Like I was too proud to get a coach before this year, but since working with him, it's so much less pressure because it's someone else's objective eye.
Right.
And he has a lot more experience working with other people's bodies. Like it doesn't matter how many books I read on physiology and how many degrees I have in science. Bodybuilding is like, as I'm sure you know, there's no reason to research bodybuilders because that doesn't help solve any of our health problems. There's no funding in it. So most of it is anecdotal,
Exactly. I
So
agree.
So coaches who, have seen a lot of different anecdotal experiences of different people's bodies and who can just see things and tweak things that have worked for other people in the past that seem similar to your temperament. It is so valuable, and I really like working with him a lot. He's got like a similar mentality to myself, so it's good.
Well, okay. So it's your first year having a coach. Obviously I don't do. I'm in a natural bodybuilding. I don't do competition. People are trying to get me to do them, but I won't. I like to watch. But
Uh-huh.
if I don't know. I guess if I was going to take that leap and step out and do that and
Mm-hmm.
step on stage, obviously your diet's really important. What what has this guy done for you versus you doing it on your own the first time? Or like what is he having you eat? Is it any different or because you say he
Um,
likes? Go ahead.
so with bodybuilding, the most important thing is so when you're building, you obviously want to be optimally absorbing and assimilating and utilizing everything you eat.
Yeah, you want
So
to
you
grow.
can eat junk. You want to be in a surplus when you're building because obviously you can't build out of thin air and calories turn into protein, turns into muscle.
Mm-hmm.
But you also don't want to just throw in a bunch of, junk food that doesn't, well, junk food will actually deplete your body because your body it uses effort to get rid of the stuff that's not real food, all the chemicals, but that it doesn't really add in things. So especially like during prep right now when I'm in a deficit and I'm trying to lose fat without losing muscle, it's super important to be eating whole foods that actually provide nutrients. So you obviously have your macronutrients that provide your body with energy and calories, but you also have the micronutrients that are important in different enzymatic processes and other, just keeping your body working, like you can put gas in the car, but if you have parts missing, it's not really going to move very far.
So you like the
Um,
way you like the way he's leading you as far as
Yeah, and I mean, I'm a huge health nut anyway, so it's not like I didn't really change anything that I ate. It's more like the proportions of different like carbs, fats, proteins, and honestly, what he has me doing is very similar to what I've done in the past. It's not really that radically different. It's just that his changes. He has an objective eye, and he will tell me, like, let's do this week, and so I do it instead of questioning it. Like I just do it because I'm like, yeah, it's not my choice. I'm just gonna trust it. Whereas if it was myself, then I'd be like, oh, well, maybe I should do this instead. Maybe I should carb cycle. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should cut this out or whatever.
yeah. Well, you
So,
gotta figure yourself out as far as how you want to look, and you got to take all those tools into consideration. Well, not those tools, but those aspects into consideration to I don't know to alter your body and shape it the way you need it, or the way you're wanting to look or have that certain look. And
absolutely.
yeah. So what'd you eat yesterday?
What did I eat yesterday? Yesterday was leg day, well, actually. So I have 2 rest days a week, and they're not really rest days because I'm still doing double cardio because
Mm-hmm.
I'm in prep, and prep is ridiculous. But yesterday what did I have for breakfast? I had egg whites with some spinach and mushrooms because I really like spinach and mushrooms, and they add minimal calories. And some smokehouse maple seasoning, which is the bomb. Just saying that seasoning save your life when you're seasoning. Yeah, it's I can't remember the brand, but Michaela and I go through like a bottle a week. It's really bad. So I had that, and then I had oatmeal with some stevia and cinnamon, and then I had a lot of ground turkey and tilapia and Brussels sprouts, green beans, asparagus, white rice, sweet potatoes. It's so funny. I feel myself talking in a more of an accent just talking to someone from the South. So funny. I swear to God, if I was talking to a bunch of people from Washington, I wasn't talking with this at all. And then more egg whites. So usually, this is why.
So what was your total intake in calories for yesterday?
My total intake. Okay, well, this is really not. This is not at all what would be advisable for anyone. So I don't even like saying this because it's extreme when you're in prep. But I had my carbs are super low right now because we're trying to get as lean as possible. So my carbs were 115 carbs.
Mm-hmm.
I had 140 grams of protein and 40 grams of fat. So
I'm writing this down. Say that one more time. How many grams of protein? 440 grams of protein.
140 grams of protein.
Good Lord. Okay. And what was the other one? The others?
115 grams of carbs.
Okay.
And 40 grams of fat.
Yeah, I love fats. Wow. Yeah, that's a lot of protein.
That's not a lot of protein. That's easy for me to get.
Really? Well, yeah, all those egg whites and everything. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. So, and that's nowhere near what I eat when I'm trying to build, or when I'm trying to maintain. Like, obviously right now I'm trying to lose fat and I'm trying to lose weight, and that's not how I would ever have any of my clients lose weight because it's extreme.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what I sign up for, you know? So bodybuilding, you got to push your body out of its comfort zone because it'll plateau. So.
Wow. Well, good luck with your show.
Thank you.
Post plenty of pictures. And you said you got another one. You said you got another one coming in 5 weeks, or have people take plenty of pictures. You got another one coming up in. So you got one coming up in 3 weeks, and then there's another one you're doing, right?
Yes.
And that's 5 weeks away? Yep. Man, you're gonna be okay. I hear you. You can do it. You can definitely do it.
I can. Last week was really rough, but this week I feel a lot better, so we're good.
Yeah.
It's always a roller coaster, and it's funny because every prep I freak out because I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm so tired and I feel crazy, and it's kind of like really extreme PMS, which you're a dude, so you wouldn't understand that, but like. When you're a woman, I'm sure you've been around enough women that claim that PMS is real, and it totally is, by the way. When your hormones are mad at you and they are out of control because you're depleting your body of nutrients it needs to keep them regular, you will literally feel like a crazy person. And Michaela's like, Meghan, this happens every year about 4 weeks out. You freak out and you don't think you can do it, and you think your body's just like spontaneously gaining fat when it's just holding water, and then you freak out and then you're fine. And then you push through, and then it's great. And I'm like, oh, thank you.
Good stuff.
She's my voice of reason. She is a saint.
Yeah.
For dealing with me and my crazy. So. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look. Let's see. I want to talk about a couple more things. Let's talk about injuries. When was what was your last injury, and what did you do to pacify it or get better? And how do you
last injury?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, my injuries are usually pretty minor. It's usually like I tweak something. So my last one that I can remember, I was deadlifting and I pulled a muscle in my back. Like it was like probably, maybe levator scap or something, which I don't know if that matters to your listeners, but it's just like a upper back muscle, and I just pulled the wrong way. Really hurt to like sit up or like move my head or move my body. And I know as an athletic trainer and someone who specializes in rehab that motion is lotion. And I don't really take anti-inflammatories or anything like that just because I'd rather just not. I don't think it's really that necessary, and it doesn't do good things for your gut. So basically what I try and do is just keep it as mobile as possible, because if it gets stiff, then that is just going to make things worse. And then I kind of worked on just resting it and not pissing it off more, while still trying to regain range of motion. So not only will you have like maybe potentially some damage to the tissue, but your brain is also going to try and protect the area because it's scared. So you need to be able to basically override your nervous system and tell it that it's okay to move into that range of motion again. And then make sure that you just, like, what happened is I didn't set my shoulders right or something like that is probably what happened. So yeah, that was my last thing. It's usually like a muscle strain. And right now with prep, like, I am basically like purposefully overtraining. And I can't just let up when I'm tired, because you're supposed to be tired. That's the whole point. That means that things are doing what they're supposed to. But it's basically just trying to maintain your strength as much as possible while you eat like you're not trying to get stronger. That way the lifting heavy is the biggest stimulus for gaining muscle and mass. So in order to keep muscle and mass, you have to continue to lift heavy, but then also it's harder to recover when you're not giving your body food, and you're probably not sleeping well because your hormones are messed up and your sleep disturbances come from caloric deficit, and just your body's trying to regulate and keep things going, just normal house maintenance, and then also performing in the gym and adding volume. It's so counter to what is logical. It's unreal, but I like pushing myself out of my comfort zone. So every year I'm like, I hate this, but I really like it, but I hate it, but I like it. So ultimately that means I love it.
Okay. Well, look, it sounds like your diet is in order, and you've got a plan and a good program in place to help you get you where you're going. I want to talk about supplements. Are you a big user, and if so, what are you using? What do you use to help you achieve your goals if you're taking supplements?
So, I mean, I consider whey protein a supplement. It's an easy, quick way of getting in protein. It's simple, and it's safe, and it's cheap, which is nice because I'm not a baller.
It's cheap. Okay. Oh, you said it's cheap. What do you? Ain't trying to give no free advertisement to people out there, but what do you mean, like
whey protein?
You mean like Walmart whey protein?
Well, it's cheaper to buy whey protein and to get 25 grams of protein from whey than it is to buy meat. I mean, I buy meat as well, but when you're me and you're eating protein, like a gram of protein per pound of body weight, then it gets expensive if you're trying to get all of that from like meat and eggs, things like that. So that's whey protein is a supplement. Like I said, it's convenient, and it's cheaper per serving than it would be for like eating a chicken breast.
Okay, yeah, I meant like when you said excuse me, I thought you were talking about, how you got, you go to GNC and there's the there's the hydrolyzed isolate whatever for $75, but you can get the same tub of whey protein at Walmart, like Body Fortress, for like $25.99 or something.
Yeah, well, the thing with that is that the ones that aren't isolate, they tend to have a lot of fillers in them, so you might not actually be getting the number of grams of protein that it says on there. So there is something to be said about like the quality of the brand for sure. I really like Optimum Nutrition. And Cellucor is really tasty, but Optimum is probably better quality. I'm not really super well versed in all of the protein brands, to be honest, but yeah. And then I take creatine, which I have found to be really effective in helping with endurance, just like in my workouts, like especially in higher volume workouts or in times when I'm doing like things like sprints or like Metcons, things like that. It's like the most researched supplement out of any of them. Like if you go on examine.com, which is a really good source, by the way, for like peer-reviewed, evidence-based research, on like any supplements, drugs, things like that, illegal and legal. That's a really good supplement. I really like it, and it's super cheap. And then I take fish oil because it's hard to get a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, which are super important for
Yeah.
anti-inflammatory aspects through diet, especially if you don't eat a lot of fish, especially if you don't eat a lot of calories right now, like I am.
Hey, let me ask you
And
something. When it comes
yeah,
to like fish oil, and I don't know
yeah,
because I take fish oil too.
hmm
I do the what is it, the omega-3 or something,
uh-huh,
and but I noticed the last time that I bought something, and I didn't buy it, but it was like omega-6 I can't. It was a high. It was omega. It was fish oil, but it had a bigger number behind it. You know what I'm talking about?
maybe,
I think it was like
I don't know.
omega-6 or something. Anyway,
Yeah,
I was kind of wondering, is there and I didn't compare as far as like looking at the nutrition facts or
yeah,
anything, but is that like a bigger difference? You get like
yeah.
what's the difference
So
between those two?
it's it's the type and like the shape, I guess, of the molecule. So, or it's the orientation. So omega-3 and omega-6, it's omega is the, I think, and I'm not a biochemist, but it's the type of bond, and then the 6 and the 3, they denote like where on the molecule the bond is there. So it has a different effect in your body. So omega-6 is actually more of an inflammatory molecule, which people freak out because we're all way too inflammatory, but you need inflammation. It's important. In order to have a change and an adaptation, you need to have a stimulus, and inflammation can be the stimulus a lot of the time, or the effect of the stimulus. But the way that we eat, there's a lot more sources of omega-6 fatty acids in our diet, and
Mm-hmm.
we don't get a lot of omega-3 because there's fewer sources in the standard American diet. So examples of omega-3 fatty acid sources are like fatty fish, like salmon, and there's plant sources as well, but I know that they're not quite as available for our bodies to utilize. But they're for anti-inflammatory. So you don't want to have only omega-6 or only omega-3. You want to have a balance. And typically, in general, I would say it's safe to say that Americans have way too much omega-6 and way too little omega-3. For example, a very good source of omega-6 is peanut butter, and we eat a crap ton of peanut butter, or vegetable oils, things like that.
Right.
So that there is a huge difference. They're pretty much opposites, but they're both necessary. But we just tend to get a little too much. Like, it's not good to run all the time, but it's not good to sit all the time. But we tend to sit all the time versus run all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah, we are
So
lazy.
you need both, but yeah, not all of us, but some of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, so omega-3 is a good thing, I think, to take as a supplement because a lot of the time in the diet it's not feasible or financially feasible for people to get, and it can be expensive if you get a quality source. But, excuse me, but I think it's also still something that is worth investing in.
Oh my lord! Did you hear that?
Whoa, what does that mean?
Did
What
you
did
hear
I
that?
win?
Oh, it's time for yes or no. You ever heard of yes or no?
Great.
Yes or no.
No.
Yes or no is a game that I made up that I brought on this show, and simply put, if you want to play, what I'll do is I'll read off a term, a place. I'll read something, and you just have to answer yes or no.
Okay.
You want to play?
Yeah.
All
Yes.
right, this is fun. I like doing this, and yeah. Well, here we go. Yes or no. All right, here we go. Peanut butter.
Yes.
Yes. Avocados.
Yes. Always.
Turkey.
White meat or dark meat?
A ground turkey. So I don't know.
Yes, every day. Just because I have to, it's easy.
Okay. Pasta. Pasta.
Uh,
Yes or no?
nah,
Nah. Okay.
nah,
Cross country running.
nah,
No. Okay.
nah.
Uh, refined sugars. I should just say sugar.
Nah.
Nah. Pancakes.
Mm-mm. Yes.
Waffles.
Yes.
Okay. Eggplant.
Yuck. No.
No. Coffee.
Yes.
Yes. Vegetable
All day, every day.
vegetable based smoothies.
Like kale or spinach.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Mhm.
Okay. Tom Brady.
Nah.
Broccoli.
Yes.
iPhone 10.
Whatever. I have an 8.
We'll mark that as a
No.
yes. No? Okay. Sodas.
No.
No. Okay. Lamb chops.
Yes.
I love lamb chops.
Me too.
Okay, here we go. 21 Savage.
21 Savage. Yes.
I can't stand that dude.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
He puts on a
Do I
terrible
lose?
he puts on a terrible show too. I saw him he performed like halftime and at the end of the game. I'm a Hawks member in Atlanta.
Uh-huh.
So I go to all the games, and he had a halftime and post game concert, and he just did terrible. I was just like, this guy sucks, and he's making all this money. Yeah, but anyhow,
There's a lot of people like that.
almond milk.
Yes.
Okay, marijuana. I was okay. Medical marijuana. How about I'll put medical? I shouldn't just say marijuana.
People
people
can do
might
what they
say-
want. It's all of it's legal here, but I've never smoked and I don't really care to. But
that's-
hey, if it's your jam, jam away.
I hear you. And last but not least, cryotherapy.
Cold. Cold as hell. So actually, cold is not hell, but I've done it once. I can't say if it's effective or not because I only did it once, but it was an interesting experience, and I'd be down to try it again.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's an experience to be had.
Yeah, I've done it a few. I do it quite often. When I mean, I don't know, like a few times a year, and I sleep good after it's over. Like, you know, as far as like you freezing and because I put on the booties and the gloves and I get in there, and it's like the coldest 3 minutes of my life. And then I get out, and then, you know, I don't know if it affects or helps my muscles recover or whatever, but I don't know. I always seem to sleep better, like for like a week, or better than I had been sleeping. I don't know.
Can't hurt.
Yeah. All right, all you listeners out there, if you haven't tried cryotherapy, y'all need to try it at least. And I don't know. It's cold. Me and Megan
Very
know
cold.
about it's cold. It's very cold.
It's very uncomfortable.
Well, look,
But
we're gonna wrap this up, but before we let you go, is there anything or any advice that you want to say out there to people that's, I don't know, that's looking to make fitness gains or help achieve their goals or anything? And if you ain't got nothing, that's fine too.
yeah.
Or like a favorite saying, anything you can feed
I
these
would
people.
say that if you're not slightly uncomfortable, or if there's no doubt in your mind that what you're doing is like a high-reaching goal, then you're probably not reaching high enough. So you should always be trying to do something that you know you're going to have to push past the questioning of yourself, because that's where you're going to grow. It's through those struggles and through failing and having to try again. That's
good stuff. I like that. Yeah.
And another thing I'm going to say, because shout out to Michaela, she's awesome. So I am like introverted and kind of a lone wolf by nature, but my support system is unmatched. And a lot of the reason that I've been able to push in anything that I go on as far as endeavors, fitness, life, anything, is because of my amazing family that supports me, my boyfriend that supports me, and my best friends that support me, including Michaela, who is your family member. So, yeah, it's very important. Even if you're a loner like me, you always need people and community.
Hey man, I enjoy. Yeah, good stuff. Well, look, we're gonna wrap this up. I appreciate you so much for coming on the show, and
Thank you for having
um,
me.
oh, you're welcome. And like I keep up with a lot of people. I follow a lot of people, so I'm gonna be watching you, and um, who knows, maybe in the future, later this year, next year, um, we can get you to revisit again and uh, I don't know, do a recap or just say hey and just find out what you're doing, what you're doing then and now. So
Yeah, I love that. I'll be eating more food next time.
right.
Less loopy.
Yeah. Well, so look, I'm gonna let you go, and um, man, I'll send you a link when I'll send you a link when this when I publish this, so you'll know that you'll be able to listen to it and go from there.
All right, cool. Thank
You're
you.
so welcome. I hope you have a blessed weekend and good luck in your competitions, and
Thanks.
just have a great life. And I hope to see you soon. And
Come up to Washington.
yeah, hey, you know what? I think that's a good idea
Because
because
people will love your accent.
well, I just want to go see. I'd like to go see. I love to travel, and
Yeah.
I'd like to go see the Seahawks play. I like to go to that stadium just to
Yep.
experience
The
that.
clink.
So, uh, you know, I'll be making my way up there soon. One day, it'll be during football season when it's cold. Yeah,
All right.
you like that
Sounds
weather up
good.
there?
It'll be raining.
It'll be
Yeah, I
raining.
do. The rain. It rains a lot in the winter, but it is so worth it in the summer. You'll see. Well, maybe not in the fall, but it's nice. It's beautiful. There's mountains. There's water. There's trees. It's my favorite
Yeah.
place.
Wow. How long does it take you to drive to? I'm gonna say, I'm trying to think of a. You say you live in Seattle. How long does it take to drive to? I don't know, San Francisco.
Like 11 hours, maybe.
Yeah, that's a road trip.
It sure is.
Okay. Well, look.
Yeah.
Hey, you've been on the horn for 42 minutes. Good interview. I
That is
appreciate
not
you.
25.
I know. It carries on. It never happens where like I'll set up like when I have a party, a podcast party, I'll set up all these slots and everybody's got like an hour
Yeah.
and
Oh, wow.
yeah, and they end up going over it. So
Wow.
yeah, I can't I try but I just can't never it just never works out.
It's
that way.
organic. It's okay. It's cool. We're just conversing. It's awesome.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, I'm gonna let you go. So, like I said, you just take care of yourself and be safe. Good luck.
All right. Thank
All
you.
right. You're welcome. Thank you.
Yep.
Bye bye.
Bye.